Hey guys, welcome to a Generic Tech Support weekend upgrade video. Before we kick off this video today, we're going to touch base on the prereqs required in order to upgrade to Windows 11. First, you're going to need a blank thumb drive with at least 12 gigs of free space. Additionally, you'll need an external hard drive, and make sure you take a full backup of any files or settings or anything else you have on your machine that are important to you before we proceed with the upgrade process. Once you have those things complete, let's jump into this video. You know, Windows 10 end of life is fastly approaching. But what if you're on hardware that doesn't quite meet the minimum requirement? Today I'm going to show you an easy way to upgrade your Windows 10 system to Windows 11. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to the Microsoft website and download the ISO file for the latest version of Windows 11. Feel free to pause the video here so you can see the URL. Once at the website, scroll down until you see the option to download the Windows 11 disk image ISO for x64 devices. Choose the drop-down to select the Windows 11 Multi-Edition ISO for x64 devices. Click the Confirm key to confirm that you want to download this edition. When prompted, choose the region that is currently installed as Windows 10 on your current system. When selected, click Confirm. Finally, choose your 64-bit download button to download the ISO file. Once the ISO file completes, make a note as to where the file has downloaded. Once the file has completed download and you've located the location, locate the file, right-click, and choose Mount. You'll note that once the file has mounted, it'll appear as if it's a CD or DVD-ROM drive under the This PC option of the File Explorer. Open up CMD as admin. Note the drive letter for your DVD or mounted ISO file. In our case, it's D. Type in D:, and hit enter. Type in setup.exe / dynamic update disable / compat scan only. It's COMPAT. Once you have this entered, hit enter on your keyboard. This will cause the installer to run and check for compatibility of Windows 11 on your system. If compatibility isn't met for Trusted Platform Module, CPU, or memory, we could proceed. If, however, you do not have the BIOS support for Windows 11, you will not be able to upgrade to Windows 11 from Windows 10. Using any of these tricks, including the third-party packages to attempt, will likely result in blue screen of death and you'll have to reinstall Windows. Since on our system we only are missing the Trusted Platform module, we are going to continue on. Open up your browser and navigate to rufus.ie /en and hit enter. Once on the Rufus website, scroll down until you find the latest version of Rufus and click on it to download. You'll note that the download location will be quick. Locate the file and copy it to another directory on your C drive. To start with, let's close the Open Command Prompt box. Then exit out of the Windows 11 Setup Compatibility Checker. It may take a couple seconds for the compatibility checker to officially exit out. Wait until it completes. Don't continue to hit X or cancel or try to end it in the Task Manager. Once the application has exited out, let's eject the DVD drive. Note, this is the file that we mounted, or the ISO file that we mounted prior. To do this, let's just right-click and choose Eject. Now let's navigate to where our Rufus download has downloaded to. At this point, you will need to mount the USB thumb drive. This drive will need to be at least 12 gigs in size. USB 2.0 or 3.0 is recommended. You can use 1.1, however, your installation process may take days to complete. Open up Rufus by double-clicking on it. You may be prompted to check for updates. Choose Yes. Make a note that Rufus will automatically find the mounted thumb drive. We could see it on the screen here listed as New Thumbs D or 16 gigabyte. Next, we're going to use Rufus to select the Microsoft Windows 11 ISO file we downloaded previously. To do that, we'll just select and then navigate to the location that we have our ISO file, and then choose Open. Once the information listed looks correctly, for instance, the device, New Thumbs, the boot selection is the ISO file we can see here. We have the standard Windows installation, the partition is GPT, and the target system is UEFI. At this point, we will hit Start. At this point, if we have the Trusted Platform Module issue, if we have the memory issue, if we have the secure boot issue, we'll leave the checkbox for Remove Requirements. We'll also leave the checkbox to remove requirements for an online Microsoft account. We'll additionally add the disable data collection for the skipping of privacy questions, and we'll add the disable BitLocker automatic device encryption and hit OK. You'll get a notification that this is going to delete all the data that's currently on this thumb drive. My thumb drive is new. If your thumb drive is not new, stop here and get a new thumb drive. Using a previously created thumb drive will wipe all data on the thumb drive. So make sure that you have a backup of the data before you proceed. Choose OK when it's OK to write over the data. This process could take 15 plus minutes to complete. You must wait for it to complete 100% successful before moving on to the next step. Keep in mind that during the installation process of the actual ISO file using Rufus modifies two files. The first file that it modifies is called setup.exe, replacing it with a separate exe file. The reason why is because the exe file is going to call a DLL file under sources. The default DLL file that the setup.exe file will call is setup.dll. However, this DLL file is replaced by appraisers.dll. The reason being is setup.dll contains the details and data required for you to upgrade using the Trusted Platform module. I mention this because you will not be able to automate using the traditional setup commands that you could in a traditional ISO file, meaning that you will need to go through the setup process by double-clicking on the setup file itself. I make note of that in this video so you don't spend the time trying to automate the process using PowerShell or other scripting methods, which will not work. As we could see on the screen, our Rufus configuration has completed. At this point, we'll click Close to close out of Rufus. Now that our thumb drive has been created, if we go back to this PC and locate our thumb drive, listed as the D drive, we can see it here. We'll double click on this to open it. We can now see the listed data inside of the thumb drive from the ISO file that's been modified by Rufus. People familiar with this process will notice immediately that the setup.exe file is different. To continue on the upgrade process, double-click on setup.exe. Note, if you do not have folder options set to show the extension, it may simply show as setup. You will be prompted by UAC to continue on. Click Yes to continue. When prompted, click Next to continue. During the process, Windows will check for updates required for the upgrade process to be completed. During the upgrade process, you'll be required to accept the license and terms of condition. Click on Accept to continue. Eventually, after checking for updates, our installation process is going to get to the point where we see what we see on the screen. This specifically is going to indicate it's ready to install. It's going to install Windows 11 Pro and keep your personal files and apps, basically doing an in-place upgrade of your Windows 10 machine. At this point, you're going to click on Install. Once you click on Install, you should see something similar as to what we see on the screen. This process is going to take a long time. On older hardware, 5th, 6th generations, 8 gigs of memory, I've seen this process take a solid day to complete. All right, guys, so my installation process has completed and we are now restarting. And there we go. We're now booting up into Windows 11 for the first time on our Windows 10 system. We're now authenticating into our Windows 11 system. And there we go. We are now on Windows 11 from our Windows 10 system with still no Trusted Platform module. And there you go, guys. That's all it takes to upgrade your unsupported Windows 10 system to Windows 11. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. Let's continue to grow this channel.